hours. Monday and Friday from 7 to 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 7 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday 7 to 2. Come on into Casey's and check out their new menu ideas and entrees. They could also cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126. Casey's, the best in Fayette County.
Don't miss this year's Fayette County Fair, July 24th through August 2nd. Buy advance tickets now, online, or at an advance ticket location and save. Locations include All Around Fence Company, Armstrong, Big Barn, Country Feed and Supply, Fayette Chamber of Commerce, EB and Skosik Tire, Jackson Farms, Neubauer's Flowers, New Salem Mini Mart, various Somerset Trust locations, several Sweet Peace locations, and local United Bank locations. Visit FayetteFair.com for specific locations or to purchase online tickets. All rides, concerts, and entertainment are included in the ticket price. Save time and money. Buy your advance tickets now and save for the whole family. The Fayette County Fair, July 24th through August 2nd. For more info about ticket prices, the full schedule of events, where to buy advance tickets locally, or to buy tickets online, visit FayetteFair.com.
Fayette County Fair, incredible fun for everyone.
Your local station, WMBS.
Good morning and welcome to another Saturday edition of the Sportsline, being brought to you this morning by my good buddy Tom Vernon and Casey Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown. The Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday from 12 to 9 and Sunday from 12 to 5. Come on out, enjoy fine dining and a round of golf. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. George Von Benko with you on a beautiful Saturday. I know you'll be taking advantage of the nice weather and be out and about doing all sorts of things, but I hope you'll take time out from your busy schedule to pick up the telephone and give us a call, because, as I've said many, many times, two-way sports talk is the lifeblood of any sports talk show, and I would love to hear from you this morning on a variety of subjects. Telephone number, if you'd like to join the conversation, 724-438-4593. Once again, 724-438-4593. Interesting show lined up besides you and me and the open line conversation. We lost one of the Pirates' all-time greats back on June 28th last week with the passing of the Cobra, Dave Parker, at age 74. And along those lines, I wanted to talk a little bit about Parker and his impact on baseball and baseball in Pittsburgh. So I picked up the phone and gave one of his teammates a call, and we taped an interview yesterday that we're going to run right after the news at 11 with Scrap Iron, Phil Garner, the great third baseman, or not third baseman, but second baseman for the Pirates' 79 championship team. Scrap Iron, Phil Garner. Interesting interview. I think you'll enjoy it, coming up after the news at 11. And, of course, the Steelers swung a big trade last week. Jalen Ramsey coming over, and the tight end Jonnu Smith for Minkah Fitzpatrick, and some draft choices extended, changed hands between the Dolphins and the Steelers. And they also extended general manager Omar Khan for 3 years. So I thought it would be a good time to get my good friend Jim Wexell from SteelCityInsiders.com on to talk about the impact of the trade and some other things that are going on, and extending Omar Khan. So Jim Wexell from Steel City Insiders will join me at 11:30 in hour number 2. But up until that time, you and me, open line sports talk. That number again, 724-438-4593. Let's go to the scoreboard And the Pirates came crashing down to earth on the road in Seattle on July 4th. Interleague play. Cal Raleigh bombs 2 home runs, and the Mariners bombed the Pirates 6-0 yesterday. The two teams go at it again tonight in Seattle. Other interleague play. Boston beats Washington 11-2. The Mets over the Yankees 6-5. Baltimore nips Atlanta 3-2. San Diego Padres 3, Texas Rangers 2. Chicago White Sox 3, Colorado Rockies 2. Houston blasts the LA Dodgers 18-1. Kansas City 9, Arizona 3, and the Athletics beat San Francisco 11-2. National League play. Cincinnati Reds beat the Philadelphia Phillies 9-6. Chicago Cubs 11, St. Louis Cardinals 3, and Milwaukee takes Miami 6-5. In the American League, Minnesota 4, Tampa Bay 3. Detroit Tigers nip Cleveland 2-1, and Toronto takes the LA Angels 4-3. So that is a look at the scoreboard. Turning our attention to sports obituaries, and two that hit very close to home. I had interaction with both of these gentlemen, and of course, we alluded to Dave Parker. Major League Baseball lost a titan of its own June 28th with the passing of former Pittsburgh Pirates outfielder Dave Parker. He was 74 years old. He passed away after a lengthy battle with Parkinson's disease. Known as the Cobra, Parker was set to receive his elongated induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame next month in Cooperstown, New York, from the Classic Baseball Era Committee. In his 19-year MLB career, which included an 11-year stint with the Pirates, Parker, who was known to be an intimidating bat for pitchers to face, recorded 2,712 career hits and a .290 career batting average at the plate with 339 home runs and nearly 1,500 RBI. He was a 7-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, 2-time National League batting champion, and the 1978 National League MVP on top of other accolades. Before the second game of their 3-game weekend series against the New York Mets at PNC Park, the Pirates held a moment of silence to remember Parker, as did the Cincinnati Reds, who Parker played for from 1984 to 87. Parker's death has also brought in outpouring and reactions from those on social media. And, of course, Parker, a tremendous player, won another World Series title with the Oakland A's. Dave Parker passing away at the age of 74. And as I said, talked to his former teammate, Scrap Iron Phil Garner. We'll play that interview after the news at 11, and stick around for that pretty interesting interview with Phil Garner. Now, from the world of hockey comes news that one of my all-time favorites has passed away. Alex Delvecchio, the longtime center and fellow hockey, for fellow Hockey Hall of Famer Gordie Howe with the Detroit Red Wings, died on Tuesday. He was 93. Delvecchio was just a tremendous player. Center for the famed production line with wingers Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay. Pivotal to Red Wings title runs in 1952, 54, and 55. Served as team captain for 12 years. Voted one of the NHL's top 100 players. In 2017, he was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1977. The Red Wings retired his number 10 in 1991. He was like a magician with the puck, former Rangers goaltender Eddie Jacquemin said in a TV interview. Delvecchio, a native of Fort William, Ontario, didn't learn to skate until he was 12, but he stepped into the Red Wings lineup for good in 1951-52 at age 19 after one season in major junior hockey and 6 games with Detroit's American Hockey League team in Indianapolis. Spent 24 seasons with Detroit, most of them with Howe on his right side. Del Vecchio made the jump to the Red Wings, as I said, in 51-52, one of the greatest teams in NHL history, and replaced Sid Abel in the middle of the production line between Howe and Ted Lindsay, and one of the most consistent players in NHL history, rarely having a bad season, played in 13 All-Star games, was a second-team All-Star twice, won the Lady Byng Trophy 3 times. He retired after playing 11 games in 73-74, finishing his career with 1,281 points, 456 goals, 825 assists, 383 penalty minutes in 1,549 games. Del Vecchio stepped off the ice and went right behind the bench as coach. He added the general manager's portfolio in 1974, served as GM and or coach at different times until being let go for good midway through the 76-77 season. Alex Del Vecchio, one of the all-time greats, passing away at the age of 93. And how I loved watching him play with the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings used to make a trip into Pittsburgh every year when the Hornets were in action at the old Civic Arena, because the Hornets were the top farm club of the Red Wings. So I would go down and watch the Red Wings come in to play the Hornets every year while the Hornets were the top farm club of the Red Wings. All right, we're going to get a break in. And when I come back, we will open up the phone lines for Open Line Sports Talk. Your chance to get up on the soapbox and be heard, 724-438-4593 is your ticket to conversation.
Bogey's Restaurant at Duck Hollow Golf Club is open for the season. Check out Bogey's refreshed 2025 menu. Bogey's is now open 7 days a week. Monday and Tuesday 4 to 9 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday from 2 to 9 p.m., and on Sundays 1 to 5. The golf season is also here with the Pro Shop open daily from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Golf 18 with a cart Monday through Friday for $39. The rate for 18 in a cart on Saturdays and Sundays is $49. Seniors 55 and over can play 18 with a cart during the week for just $30. You can purchase a special card that includes 20 18-hole rounds of golf with a cart for $660. That breaks down to just $33 a round, a savings of $16 off weekend fees. Looking at starting a golf league? Duck Hollow has league openings on Mondays and Fridays. Stop by the Pro Shop for more details. Bogey's Restaurant and Duck Hollow Golf Course. Call 724-880-9082 for golf tee times or for restaurant information today, or check out Duck Hollow on Facebook for weekly specials.
I saw her face.
Everyone's favorite ogre is coming to Uniontown. Main Street Theater Company presents Shrek the Musical, live on stage at the State Theater. Based on the Oscar-winning film of A Little Ogre, a wisecracking donkey, a feisty princess, and other fairy tale misfits, Shrek proves that beauty is truly in the eye of the ogre. Shrek the Musical, July 11th and 12th at 7 p.m., July 13th at 2, is fun for the whole family. For tickets, call 724-439-1360 or online at statetheater.info.
Saving money when you buy a new home isn't a fantasy. It's reality at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. With up to $5,000 in instant savings during the Sign and Save sales event, it's the perfect place to find the home you've always wanted. So don't let your dream home stay a fantasy. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon today at 4500 PA 51. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through August 31st. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Hi everyone, this is Kelly Clark with Autoland Hyundai in downtown Uniontown. 724-208-5281. What makes buying your next vehicle for me worthwhile? I make it a very easy 5-step process. You look, you shop, You ask, you decide. And I listen. Kelly Clark Autoland Hyundai, 724-208-5281. 724-208-5281. Kelly Clark Autoland Hyundai. I'll make you a good deal.
It's back for a third year, the 2025 version of Best in Fayette presented by Nemacolin. Voting is going on now through July 9th at 5 p.m. To learn more and to vote for your favorite business, visit bestinfayette.com. The 2024 Best in Fayette books are still available and can be picked up for free at locations such as WMBS Radio, Shop and Save Walnut Hill, Armstrong in Connellsville, Bittersweet Cafe in Farmington, and the casino at Nemacolin. For more information, visit bestinfayette.com.
If you're an athlete, you know the importance of a strong recovery. NovaCare provides several athletic training programs geared toward athletic-related injuries and collaborates with Albert Gallatin, Uniontown, Fraser, California, Jefferson Morgan, Waynesburg, West Green, and Mapletown school districts to help student athletes stay at their best. From coordinating additional specialist care to treating on-site injuries, their experts cater to your personal needs. Specialized services include concussion diagnosis and rehabilitation and treatment for sport-specific injuries. For more information on athletic training at NovaCare, visit novacare.com or contact your local office today.
Hi, this is Penguins broadcaster Phil Bork, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS.
And welcome back to the Sportsline on this Saturday morning. Let's open up the phone lines now and get into some lively sports talk, hopefully. One line is open if you want to jump in. 724-438-4593 is the number to call. Let's take our first phone call of the morning. Good morning. You're on the Sportsline.
Good morning, George.
Uh-oh. It's Charles. Boy, I'll tell you, you are all over the news recently, Mr. Conco.
Yes, thank you. But you know what? For persons who I have to thank, you can look in the mirror.
Well, I don't know about that.
You know, you pluribus unum, George. You're one out of many. I mean, George, I say three things about that. Thank God and other people, stay humble, work hard.
Okay. I enjoyed the article. Several people gave me a heads up about it, and I got a chance to read it, and I thought it was very interesting and well-deserved. You are a long-suffering Pirates fan.
George, thank you, but you have a solid place in my enrichment of baseball and Pirate knowledge. I'll tell you that.
I hope you stick around after the news at 11 because I think you will enjoy my conversation with Phil Garner about Dave Parker. Yes,
that's the next thing. Dave Parker just. Once again, it took too long for them to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's unfortunate that two guys this year, Parker and Dick Allen, both going in posthumously, and there's no reason for it. They should have both been in a long time ago.
Because some people say it was the color of Parker's skin, his involvement in the cocaine trials, his little bit of brashness. He was the first $1 million player. But if all you're going to think of are those things, George, you're completely missing the things you should be thinking about.
No, he was a great player, and yes, he had a little braggadocio about him. There's no question about it. But as Garner would point out, he could back it up. He could back it up on the field. You know.
And Garner said he was a great guy in the clubhouse.
Oh, he was. And we talked a little bit about our little relationship. You'll love the story with Parker and me and Garner in the clubhouse with me as a young baseball reporter. But it was great catching up with Phil, and I'm happy to report. I'd said on the air several months ago, quite a while back, that I had heard that he was having some health issues. And that indeed was the case. Pancreatic cancer. But he reported to me that the treatments have gone very, very well, and he is doing very, very well health-wise.
Good, that's good.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's good, because talk about good guys.
One of the best.
Scrap Iron is one of those, too.
Yeah.
But when you stop and think, George, I was thinking the other day, for almost a decade and a half, from 1965 to 1980, the Pirates had the best player in the game.
Mm-hmm.
First it was Clemente, then it was Parker.
Right. And we got another guy sitting out there who's getting a little long in the tooth, too, and he is very deserving of the Hall of Fame as well, and I'm talking about Scoop, Al Oliver.
George, you beat me to the punch. Yeah, that was a great song by Mary Wells, but yeah, you're absolutely correct. I was just going to mention that. Scoop, there is no reason Scoops Oliver is not in the Hall of Fame.
No, I mean, his numbers, compare very favorably, if not better, just like Parker's did. And, they said that, Allen only played 10 years, but look at those 10 years. Look at the numbers. He was one of the most feared players in the game, Dick Allen was, and they kept him out.
George.
Yeah.
George. Dick Allen was somewhat like Hank Aaron from the right side and Billy Williams from the left side. Dick Allen could wait, with that bat of his, and almost sudden a flick of the wrist and boom.
Right, yeah.
He just had those quick wrists.
But it's a shame that Parker and Allen, because of their dragging their feet and everything, will not be able to enjoy the moment.
Yeah, that's a shame. And it's the same on the Pirates schedule. The Pirates were guilty of fooling around with Vernon Law. Vernon Law should have been in the Pirates' Hall.
Well, he's finally going in. I just hope it doesn't happen. God forbid that it would happen with Dick Grote.
Yes. No question. Among other things, remember those two throws in the 79 All-Star game?
Oh, yeah.
Parker threw two guys out at the plate.
Yep.
When you don't play the whole game, and he just, like you said, two-time world champion, two-time batting champion,
two-time World Series champ. Yeah.
Well, you get the picture. Rest in peace.
You could make a case that for a good 5-6 year period there, he was the best player in baseball.
Oh yeah, that's what I said, George. A 15-year window between 65 and 80.
Yeah, and then just so many things come back, flooding back about those teams. And Garner and I talked about what it was like to be in that locker room, because I've never been in a locker room like the Pirates of that period. It was just unbelievable what that locker room was like and the characters they had. And Phil made an interesting point about that. He said, you don't see that anymore because baseball, the game itself, sort of discourages characters nowadays.
Yeah, but see, I think the key to all of that was that Taylor just let them be men and players.
They handled things until Chuck had to do something. And Garner pointed out to me, you did not want Chuck to bring you into his office.
No, because by that time Taylor was ready to put the hammer down. Yeah. George, one of one, Del Vecchio.
Yes, great player.
Was he a left-handed? He was a left-handed shot, wasn't he?
I'd have to look that up just to make sure. But he was a center iceman, and the production line between Howe and Lindsay, and then all those years with Howe, and you could make a case that they, for a brief period, I think of 2 or 3 years there, they had a resurrection of the production line in Detroit with Howe on right wing, Del Vecchio at center, and the big M, Frank Mahovlich, on the left side. Yeah.
George, maybe you'll have to look this up. Who won more cups in history, the Wings or the Leafs?
I believe I believe the Leafs did. The Leafs did, I believe.
Okay, so let me talk first. And I always thought the Wings were second, but you say the Leafs have.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
But, I mean, both. But that's all.
I mean, but what a drought! I mean, Toronto, no cups since '67.
67. I suppose somebody might start a chant up there, 67.
Yeah.
Remember, like they did for the Rangers at the Garden?
And they had two goaltenders who were in rocking chairs that led them to the cup. The China Wall, Johnny Bauer and Terry Sawchuk were the two goaltenders for the Maple Leafs.
George, who was the goaltender on all those championship teams in Detroit? Who was I was probably
they had Sawchuk.
Oh, did Sawchuk go from the Leafs to the Wings or vice versa?
Vice versa. He started with Detroit.
Okay.
The Leafs were late in his career. There was a stop in New York in between there.
Yeah.
He played for the Rangers. Sawchuk did. So.
But anyway.
And people forget, and they got rid of him because they were solid with goaltending. For a while, Glenn Hall played for the Red Wings.
Excuse me, most of Glenn Hall's years
were with the Blackhawks.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Blackhawks.
Yeah.
I thought it was Canadian.
No, he was with the Blackhawks. And then, of course, he and Jacques Plante together with the St. Louis Blues. Late in their careers.
Well then, George, who was the goaltender on those 5 straight cups the Canadians won? I think he was the guy that preceded Rogatien Vachon.
Well, no, they had Jacques Plante for a while.
Was Plante the goaltender on those 5 straight?
Well, I'd have to look up because they switched it, and they had Rogie Vachon, and then, of course, talk about an embarrassment of riches. They had Kenny Dryden too.
Yeah, Kenny Dryden. Yeah, I remember.
But they had other guys. They had Charlie Hodge. Charlie Hodge was a great goaltender for the Canadians.
George, I wanted, first of all, let me say that I didn't go click my heels when the Pirates won 6 in a row.
I'm glad you didn't.
You don't, George, you don't do anything like that when after you win 6 in a row, you're still 38 and 50.
Well, they reverted, as I said they were going to, they reverted back to the mean yesterday. Opportunities galore, and you can't score a run.
Nope. George, do you think that Nick Gonzalez will eventually win a batting title?
I don't know about that. I think he's gonna. I like how he's progressing. I just want to see more of it. This isn't a long span that he's been doing this, but I like what he's been doing lately. He's had injury problems and other things. I do find this interesting, and I'll throw this out for everybody. We have the trade deadline approaching on July 31st. And MLB put out a list on their website, the top 40 trade candidates with the deadline approaching. Top 40. 4 of the top 10 are Pittsburgh Pirates.
That would be Keller, Bednar, Haney. Would it be Keller, Bednar, Haney, and Falter?
Nope. It's Keller, Bednar, Haney, and Santana.
Okay. I was close. I had 3 of them. The last thing I want to ask you today, George, did the Steelers make a plus trade in that trade?
I like the trade. I really did, and for a lot of reasons. There had been a lot of things going on, and communications came up so much, particularly during that stretch when they lost those games coming down the stretch about communication. And nobody would ever come out and point the finger at Minkah Fitzpatrick, but most of the people who covered the team suspected that he was the culprit. And it's not all Minkah's fault. He likes to play center field. He didn't like the way he was being used and the way they were using him. I thought it was a good trade at the time, and they got, I thought, really good value out of the deal.
Out of this deal?
Yes.
Well, early in his career, he may have straightened it out. I kind of thought Jalen Ramsey was a bit of a loose cannon, but when he was playing for Jacksonville years ago.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe he's
and he's versatile. He can play cornerback. He can play a little bit of safety. And let's not overlook the tight end, who's a very good player. And they're going to use him as a hybrid, like a fullback, H-back, slot receiver, tight end type. They're going to use him in a variety of ways. Okay?
George, one thing I'll say on the way out the door, and it doesn't need any amplification. I was listening to EBS Sports overnight last night. Somebody called in and said that Joey Chestnut should be considered an athlete. I never heard a more stinking bunch of trash. Joey Chestnut is nothing but a publicity-seeking glutton. That's what he is.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't consider him an athlete.
That's not athletics, though.
Since when is gluttony an athletic sport?
That's what I'm saying. Gluttony is a capital sin, George.
Right. All right, my man.
Thank
you, and I hope you had a good fourth.
Quiet fourth, but okay. Hope you did too.
I did.
We'll catch you next week.
Take care. Bye-bye. And let's get a break in real quick, and I'll come back with more of your phone calls right after this on the Sports Line.
For professional cleaning services, Clean and Shine in New Stanton is the place for you. They provide commercial and residential cleaning, porter services, carpet cleaning, stripping and waxing, construction cleanups, and car cleaning. For free estimates, call 724-691-0413, email info@cleanandshine14.org, or visit their website, cleanandshine14.org. We clean so you can shine.
Warm weather is finally here, and with it, the opportunity to upgrade your lawn or yard with a new fence from All Around Fence Company. Conveniently located at 7896 National Pike, Uniontown, All Around Fence has been installing quality residential, commercial, and farm fencing for more than 45 years. Offering residential fencing including chain link, decorative aluminum, steel, and more, All Around Fence has a fence for you. All Around Fence is also your one-stop shop for Neutrina products and carries livestock, equine, and pet supplies too. So whether you need to upgrade an existing fence, add a new gate, or are looking to install an all-new fence, All Around Fence has the answers for you. Visit them Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or give them a call at 724-439-0331. To learn more, visit allaroundfence.com.
Chris Parker Jr., what's going on at Autoland Hyundai?
While other car manufacturers are raising prices, at Autoland, we're lowering prices. We are also offering above Blue Book value in all trades. All this, plus the amazing incentives and financing offers from Hyundai on top of that.
I'm listening.
How about the fuel-efficient 2025 Elantra SE with 2.99 APR for 72 months, or lease for $229 per month? Check out our great selection of all-wheel drive SUVs, ranging from the Hyundai Kona to the full-size third-row Santa Fe, both with 3.99 financing for 72 months, or choose $2,000 HMF bonus cash on the Santa Fe.
Plus Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain protection with every new Hyundai purchased, and 3-year, 36,000-mile free complimentary maintenance. Autoland Hyundai, downtown Uniontown, or visit their website at AutolandHyundai.com.
Remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
Casey's Sports Cafe, located at 243 South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown and owned by the Vernon family, wants you to know they have new hours. Monday and Friday from 7 to 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 7 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday 7 to 2. Come on into Casey's and check out their new menu ideas and entrees. They can also cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126. Casey's, the best in Fayette County.
Hi, this is Bob Walk, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on your local station, WMBS Uniontown.
And welcome back to the Sportsline, moving down the home stretch here in hour number 1. Back to the phone lines we go. Good morning. You're on the Sportsline.
Good morning, George.
Good morning.
This is Mark calling.
Hi.
Hey, I tell you what, I was so disappointed the Pirates lost last night because I wanted so bad to call up today and say, break up the Pirates.
I would have laughed a little bit at you. I'm sorry.
I mean, that was an incredible 6-game homestand.
It was, but it was I got to be honest with you. It was a perfect storm for the Pirates. They caught the Mets at absolutely the right time. They're in total disarray, and they're missing 3 starting pitchers. And they caught the Cardinals at a good time, too, because 2 of their big bats were out of the lineup, Arenado and Contreras.
Okay, because they said they tied some kind of record stood since 1901.
Yeah, I give them all the credit in the world, but sometimes the stars align in the right way, and they caught those teams at absolutely the right time.
Okay, because I was wondering because they talked to that one shortstop, and he said that the Pirates are healthy now.
No, they reverted back to the mean yesterday.
Okay.
They had tons of opportunities and couldn't score. That's reverting back to the mean.
All right.
I knew the hitting wasn't going to last. The pitching is going to be good. It's going to be good. It'll keep them in games. They just ran into probably the hottest hitter in baseball yesterday in Raleigh, the catcher, who's leading baseball in home runs.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He hit 2 bombs yesterday, 34 and 35.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, what about the Steelers? I mean, they traded away an All-Pro.
Well, I don't have a problem with it because they got good value in return. And Minka, quite frankly, some people felt that he was part of the communication problem in the back of that defense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just I know he's at the end of his career too. Maybe they wanted to get something for him, but
well, he's still got a little bit of time left. But I thought. As far as return on the trade, I thought they got good return.
Okay, George. You thought it was a good deal then?
Yeah, we'll see. Everything always plays out when the season starts, and you see how these guys fit in. Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got for today, George.
All right, I thank you for your call. You take care. Bye-bye. And that frees up both of our phone lines if you want to jump in here in the last 7 minutes of hour number 1. Please do so. 724-438-4593 is the number to call. 724-438-4593. Your ticket to Sports Talk. We've got an interesting interview coming up following the news. At 11, of course, we lost the Cobra, Dave Parker, at age 74 on June 28th, the former Pirate outfielder passing away. About a month away from going into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He was trying so hard to make it to Cooperstown, and he passed away before that. And I caught up with one of his teammates from the 79 Pirates, one of my all-time favorites to deal with, Scrap Iron Phil Garner. Had a great conversation with Phil yesterday, or actually the day before yesterday, and taped it, and we're going to play that interview with Phil Garner after the news here at the top of the hour. Then, of course, we touched just now on the Steeler trade with Minka Fitzpatrick going to the Dolphins for Jalen Ramsey, a defensive back, and Smith, Jonnu Smith, a tight end who's going to play a hybrid role with the Steelers, and some draft picks exchanging hands. And then, of course, they re-signed general manager Omar Khan to a 3-year contract extension. So a lot of Steeler news this week, too. And to that end, Jim Wexell from SteelCityInsiders.com is going to join me at 11:30, and we will dissect the trade and the extension for Omar Khan and some other things going on with the Steelers. Training camp just around the corner, July 25th, up at St. Vincent College. It's just around the corner. But Jim Wexell will join me from SteelCityInsiders.com at 11:30. The Penguins had their draft, and I've got interesting reports. You never really know with the NHL draft. It's a lot like the baseball draft. It's an inexact science because you're dealing with younger guys. It's not like the NBA draft or the NFL draft where it's more of a proven product coming out of college. And the grades I got on the draft for the Penguins were a lot of middle six type guys drafted. Now, they have swung a couple of deals, some minor deals, and signed some guys to help up front. But this process, rebuilding process, is going to be maybe a little bit painful. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. They still got the big three, probably Malkin's last year. Letang is signed, and Crosby, they may extend him. He's still playing at a high level. But it's going to take some time to rebuild. And in my opinion, they are still facing the biggest problem, and that's goaltending. I am not sold on Tristan Jarry, and he remains right now their goaltender. They traded Nedeljkovic, who was a serviceable backup, but they're probably going to go with one of the young goaltenders in their system as the backup goaltender. But goaltending remains a huge question mark for me until Jarry proves that he can do it, and he has not proven that yet. And they're on the line for some good money for him. I think that if they had a chance, they might deal him and try and move on, but with his contract, they'd have to eat some of the contract, and nobody's knocking down the door to get Tristan Jarry. So I still think they've got a problem there. They still have some problems on the blue line. The Carlson situation has to work itself out. I think they would like to get out from under that contract. They'll probably have to eat some cash there. So it's going to be an interesting rebuilding process for the Penguins. So we're going to have the Garner interview, then a little bit more open line conversation in hour number 2, and then Jim Wexell at 11:30. Those are some of the topics you can get into if you want to get into. The Pirates, and with the trade deadline coming up July 31st, Steelers with training camp approaching July 25th, and what's going on in the offseason for the Pittsburgh Penguins. All of those subjects and anything else that might be on your cranium are on the docket here in hour number 2, which is coming up after the news here at the top of the hour. So do not touch that dial. We've got another hour of sports talk coming up after the news. Interesting conversation. I urge you to stay tuned for my conversation with Scrap Iron Phil Garner about the passing of his teammate Dave Parker. Really, really good interview with Phil Garner coming up after the news here on the Sportsline. And that puts a capper on hour number 1 of the Sportsline. We had some great phone calls. Hope to get a few more in hour number 2 as well. The Sportsline is being brought to you this morning by my good friend Tom Vernon and Casey Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown. The Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday from 12 to 9 and Sunday from 12 to 5. Come on out. Enjoy fine dining and a round of golf. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. Another hour of sports talk on the way in the 11 o'clock hour, but first we're going to pause for the latest news. It comes your way from the CBS Radio Network right here on your local station, 590 AM and 101.1 FM, WMBS, Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Christopher Cruz. It's an agonizing, heartbreaking weekend for the parents of 23 girls missing from a sleepaway summer camp near San Antonio after flash flooding. At least 24 bodies were recovered yesterday. CBS's Jason Allen says rescuers aren't giving up.
This is still being called an active rescue mission. There have been helicopter teams and boat teams going up the Guadalupe River. They're having to sort through, work around these huge piles of debris, and they have even been scanning the treetops, looking for people who may still be waiting to be rescued.
The river rose 26 feet in 45 minutes. More rain is in the forecast today, with the potential for pockets of heavy downpours. Tropical storm Chantal has formed off the coast of the Carolinas. Stand by for more tariff-related uncertainty. A preview from CBS's Willie James Inman at the White House.
The president says he could send up to 12 letters to different nations on Monday, notifying them of the new tariff rate on their goods. The White House faces a self-imposed deadline of Wednesday to negotiate dozens of trade deals.
We learned yesterday that Hamas has responded to the latest truce proposal for Gaza in a, quote, positive spirit. But as CBS's Deborah Patta reports today from Jerusalem, that doesn't mean it's a done deal.
Challenges remain. Hamas has said they want aid to be delivered by the United Nations and its partners exclusively, and for the controversial GHF to be shut down. And guarantees from the US that negotiations for an end to the war would begin immediately, while Netanyahu has ruled out ending the war until all the hostages are freed and the military and governing capability of Hamas has been destroyed.
2 people were shot and killed early this morning in downtown Indianapolis. 6 others were injured and are in the hospital. A disgusted police chief, Chris Bailey.
This kind of violence, whether downtown or any of our neighborhoods, is completely unacceptable and unnecessary. And parents and guardians have got to step up.
One of the dead was a minor. Before the shooting, police made at least 20 arrests and found weapons on 2 juveniles. If you're eating poorly while you're pregnant, your child could pay for it with their health. Details from CBS News correspondent Michael George.
A study published by the British Medical Journal looked at expectant mothers who ate inflammatory foods like red and processed meat, sugary drinks, and deep-fried foods, and found that a diet heavy in these foods can raise the risk of a child developing type 1 diabetes by as much as 16%.
This is CBS News.
Make your first lawn move with the reliable performance and power of Steel battery tools, hedge trimmers, mowers, string trimmers, and more. Shop in-store or online at steeldealers.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Saving money when you buy a new home isn't a fantasy. It's reality at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. With up to $5,000 in instant savings during the Sign and Save sales event, it's the perfect place to find the home you've always wanted. So don't let your dream home stay a fantasy. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon today at 4500 PA 51. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through August 31st. The amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
What state is ranked number 1 for retirement? It probably won't surprise you to know it's Florida, but number 2 on the list likely will.
For a growing number of Americans, part of the travel experience is not just to visit a new location on a vacation, but test driving that destination as their best possible place to retire. The metrics? Low taxes, great health care, low crime rates, and affordable cost of living. And the U.S. state ranked best for retirement? Once again, it's Florida, followed by Minnesota, Colorado, and Wyoming. One other reason Florida earned the best state to retire title, at least for the children of seniors thinking of moving there, it also has no estate or inheritance taxes. Peter Greenberg, travel editor, CBS News.
50 years ago today, July 5th, 1975, Arthur Ashe became the first and still the only black man to win a Wimbledon singles title, defeating Jimmy Connors. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Enjoy the Story Square Summer Concert Series every Thursday throughout the summer from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., featuring music and food with local bands and vendors. WMBS will also be on hand for a live broadcast with the prize wheel and giveaways various Thursdays throughout the summer. Bring along your friends and family to enjoy the talents of local musicians. It's an ideal opportunity to celebrate community spirit and support local talent. The Story Square Summer Concert Series is supported by the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Uniontown and presented weekly by fine businesses including Premier Nissan, First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County, the Herald Standard, the Sprouse Insurance Group and insurance agent David Hughes, the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital, Lee's Plumbing, Mike Kelly Toyota of Uniontown, the Fayette Launchbox, A1 Porta Johns, and by Fayette Area Coordinated Transportation. Check out the full schedule of the 2025 concert series at uniontownredevelopment.com/story square. We will see you there.
At Economy Furnace Heating and Air, we're more than just an HVAC company. We're part of your neighborhood. Thanks to you, our friends, families, and loyal customers, we were voted Best in Fayette in both 2023 and 2024. Your trust means the world to us, and we'd be honored to have your vote again. You can vote once a day on every device at bestinfayette.com now through Wednesday, July 9th at 5 p.m. We proudly install Amana systems, built to last and designed for energy efficiency. Need AC help during a heat wave? We've got you covered with fast response times, friendly technicians, and top-notch service you can count on. For over 60 years, our family-owned business has put community first because you're not just customers, you're neighbors. Call us at 724-438-4575 to schedule your appointment today. And from our family to yours, thank you.
For economy, price, and quality service, call Economy Furnace.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful. We went to Mutt's on Market Street, the new dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha, the owner, has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
With warm weather on the way, now's the time to schedule an appointment for your furry friend's spring grooming. Mutt's on Market Street, downtown Brownsville, next to Hope Park. For more information, visit Mutt's on Market Street on Facebook. Mutt's on Market Street will be open during the Market Street repairs. Well, warmer days are ahead, the kind of days when you'll be enjoying your deck or patio again, especially with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturers and customer guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Lifetime Awnings, 724-554-6067. Call for a no-cost or obligation home consultation or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Are you looking to list or sell your house? Now is the time to let the professionals at Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty help you with all of your real estate needs. Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty has two convenient locations to better serve you. In Uniontown area, 724-437-7100, or in Connellsville area, 724-628-7200, and speak with one of our real estate professionals. Visit our website, caldwellbanker.com. We have been proudly serving Western Pennsylvania area for over 30 years and look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Broker Paul Bortz Jr.
Oak Pizza in downtown Uniontown is your one-stop shop for the most unique pizzas in the region. From the masterminds behind the Fat Angelo's franchise, Oak Pizza is the laboratory where the Fat Angelo's food scientists test their creations and let you be the judge. With traditional favorites like pepperoni and buffalo chicken pizzas to more experimental offerings like the sesame seed-infused Mad Pie or the spicy chicken pickle pizza, Oak has you covered. Order today at oakpizzas.com or by calling 724-439-5805. Your taste buds will thank you.
Your local station, WMBS.
Welcome back on board for hour number 2 of the Sportsline, being brought to you this morning by my good buddy Tom Vernon and Casey Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday from 12 to 9 and Sunday from 12 to 5. Come on out. Enjoy fine dining and a round of golf. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. George Von Benko with you as we forge ahead into hour number 2. And as promised, I have an interview coming up that I did on Thursday. We lost the Cobra, Dave Parker, great Pirate player, going into the Hall of Fame here in June, 74 years of age. He had been suffering from Parkinson's disease for the last 12 years, and I caught up with a former teammate, one of my favorite buccos from covering those teams, Scrap Iron, Phil Garner. Had a chat with him on Thursday, and I think you will really enjoy the conversation. Let's eavesdrop on my chat with former Pirates second baseman, Phil Garner. Welcome back to the Sportsline on Saturday morning, and it's been a rough week in Pittsburgh sports. Last weekend, we lost one of the all-time greats from Pittsburgh Pirate history, and I'm talking about the Cobra, Dave Parker, who had been struggling for about 13 years with Parkinson, and he had really been struggling, but he was hoping he could make it to July when he's going to be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Joining me right now is one of his teammates from that 79 Pirate team, one of my favorites, Scrap Iron, Phil Garner. Phil, I wish I was talking to you under better circumstances, but I told you when we set this interview up and we were talking that the last time I'd seen Parker, he was confined to a wheelchair, and it was just so hard for me to think of him in that way. That's not the way I remember Dave Parker.
Oh, well, you're absolutely right. And the same thing about all the rest of us. I remember Dave Parker as, we called him an Adonis. He was God's gift to athleticism. If you could design an athlete and build him the way you want to, you'd end up with a guy looking just like Dave Parker. He was tall, he was fast, he was strong, and he was quick. He was a great athlete, and it was unfortunate to see him. The last time I'd seen him, he was not in a wheelchair, but he had lost a good 50, 60 pounds, and he was moving rather slowly, but that's to be expected with the disease and the medication he was taking. But he fought a good fight until the end, and it's unfortunate that he's going into the Hall of Fame, but it's a month too late as far as Dave's concerned. He's not going to get to enjoy it. And I have a problem with that sometimes. I feel the same way about the other guy that's going in. Dick Allen should have gone in before he passed away. He was a great player. He was a great player too. I agree with that too. Yes, he was, and well, I don't know about you, but I'm getting to the age where I'm seeing friends and people that I've known for a number of years are starting to die from me, So when you get to be 76, not a whole lot of good happens after that, except if you can hang around long enough to see your grandkids get through college. Yeah. Looking back on those years, I was just a young pup covering that team. And you may recall Parker used to have a habit of picking on me a little bit. He would unplug the microphone from my tape recorder when I was talking to people and everything. And you were always my defender, and I used to get such a kick out of it because it was sort of like Mutt and Jeff, because Parker was so big and you were shorter than he was, and you'd get right up in his grill, leave the kid alone and stuff like that. But that's what that locker room was like. It's so hard to describe what the atmosphere was in that locker room. Well, I would describe it as brutally honest, and I felt like I had a pretty good description the other day when I mentioned to somebody that most people are familiar with kangaroo courts. Now, it's one of those things that's dying out simply because the modern day player starts crying if you get on him too much. So they're just not as tough as emotionally as it seems like they used to be, because when we had these kangaroo courts, it could get brutal sometimes. And if you were a little bit sensitive, you were going to get slammed. And particularly if you were sensitive, because guys would start picking on you. So it was a way to keep guys in line. If you did something really stupid on the field, it was a way to bring it up in a meeting. And many times it was trying to be in a humorous situation. So it called you on the carpet, but it didn't do it in such a way as it just it absolutely beat you down. However, there were times when it could get majorly serious, and we had some of those in Pittsburgh. Well, Dave was that way. Every day was a kangaroo court, because if you did something foolish or if you did something that was funny, Dave Parker was going to call you out on it, and he was going to make a big deal out of it. And he was so quick-witted, you couldn't get mad at him. I mean, he would tell me, you know, I'd start arguing with him, and he'd say, you don't think I'm an MVP? Get a bubblegum card, mother. Get a bubblegum card and look at the back of the bubblegum card. Just see how great I am. Well, he was right, you know, and it was kind of funny the way he would do it. And so he would tell me one time, he told me he was going to hit me so hard on the top of the head that my socks were going to become my turtleneck.
Oh,
and
wow.
So, I mean, how do you get mad at that? It's a funny line when you think about it, you know.
And then the funny thing about it is you had him larger than life, and he wasn't afraid to tell you how good he was, but he backed it up. But the patriarch was still there in a quiet way, but Stargell's presence was there too.
Well, there's no way. There's no doubt that Stargell was our captain, and even Dave would bow to Willie Stargell. Willie was one of the kindest and most thoughtful gentlemen you ever ran across in your life, and he was truly our captain of our team. But that being said, Willie was a leader, and he really took responsibility in the role. So was Dave. Dave was a leader in ways that would pick up where maybe Willie kind of left off. Willie was old at the time, and Dave was young. So Dave was doing it on the field. He was backing everything up he said on the field. Dave was a great all-around player. A lot of people want to look just at his offense, or maybe after the All-Star game that he played in Seattle, when he threw out a couple of games, they started realizing what a good defensive player, what a good arm he had. But we saw it every night. We saw something that he could do every night. So there's no question Willie, the leader, but no question Dave Parker had a major part on the ball club. We don't win without either one of those guys.
Well, you touched on something very interesting, Phil. You hear the term five-tool player. It's thrown around a lot today, and there are some great athletes in the game today. But I look around and, you know, they say they're a five-tool player, and sometimes I think, well, they're a 2.5 or a 3-tool player. Dave Parker was a legitimate five-tool player. As an outfielder with a throwing arm, hit for average, hit for power and RBIs. Plus, people forget, he was a good base runner.
He was a very good base runner, and he had great speed. The only thing that he couldn't do, I'll tell you a quick story. We were competing in a lot of people remember those old ABC Super Teams competition and Superstars competitions. Mm-hmm. When we go down to the Bahamas and we compete. Well, when we won the World Series in '79, we went down there, the Baltimore Orioles, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Pittsburgh Pirates were the four teams competing in Super Teams that year. And one of the, you have all these series of things. One of them is you row an outrigger out, and that's funny. You do a tug of war, that's funny. But then you have a relay swimming match. Well, Tim Foley was a swimmer. He was from Florida, and I had just competed in Superstars competition, and I was a decent swimmer. I'd worked on it. And we had another swimmer, but we needed a fourth one. And Parker says, I can swim. And so we put Parker in there. We decided, all right, he's going to be the first leg because we're going to leave Foley for the last leg. We felt like he was the best and fastest swimmer, and I was going to be the third leg. So we start the race, and Parker jumps in, and he doesn't come back up, and we're looking at him at the bottom of the water. He's not going anywhere. He just sank right to the bottom. And finally, I think Foley jumped in the water, pulled him out of the water, and he's coughing, spitting up water. And we go, what in the world happened? He said, well, it looked easy. I thought I could swim, but he could not swim.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's the only thing I ever saw that Parker could not do and not do at an all-star level. But
I heard you on television the other night with the Pirate broadcasters, and you made me laugh because I thought back to that club, and you said, you know, Parker wasn't afraid of anybody, he says, but there's one guy he wouldn't fight. That was Ed Ott.
Ed Ott, yes, he was afraid. Ed, most people don't remember, but Ed Ott was a Pennsylvania State Wrestling Championship. Now, in Pennsylvania, that's a big deal. You might go to Tennessee and talk about a wrestling championship, and that may not be such a big deal. But in Pennsylvania, it was a big deal because the guy that Ed Ott beat that year for the state championship went on to the Olympics. So you might imagine that Ed Ott could have gone on to the Olympics, but he signed a professional baseball contract. So that's why he didn't pursue an Olympic career in wrestling. So, Dave Parker tried one time to say something to Ed Ott, and Ed told him, he said, listen, you mess with me and I'll turn you into a pretzel so fast you won't know what hit you. And Dave Parker believed him and never messed with him after that.
Well, if you want to know how tough Ott was, just ask Felix Mion.
Oh yeah, no kidding. He picked him up and
body slammed him,
stuffed him right into the turf. Yeah.
Well, listen, I really appreciate the time. I'm glad to hear from you that you're doing a little bit better health-wise. We won't get into that, but you told me you are doing a little bit better, and it's always great to catch up with you. I think back to those teams, and of course, my good friend Chuck Tanner, who was the leader of that team, and led that team to the World Series. What a great run that was. I still have a champagne bottle from the celebration, Phil. You poured half the bottle over my head during the celebration, and I kept it. It.
Well, those are good memories, and that's great. I wish I had a champagne bottle left over, but I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to give away my memorabilia. I don't have anything left. I do have a grandson that's kind of gotten into collecting baseball. Out of my 6 grandkids, I have one that's really into baseball. And it's kind of fun because he's gotten into collecting cards. And it's really cool because these kids go on the internet and they know more about you than you do because they research and find out, you know, everything that you'd like, everything you don't like, your career. It's really kind of cool. So
you just reminded me of one of my favorite stories when you were managing the Astros. I was in your office at PNC Park, and all of us were gathered there to talk to the media. And Lance Berkman, who collected cards, came in and he threw 5 Phil Garner cards down on the table. And he said, "I got them real cheap, Skip."
Lance Berkman is one of the funniest guys on the planet. He's got a great sense of humor.
I just loved it. He said, "I got him real cheap, Skip."
Yeah, of course he was going to rag me. He was going to get all over me. That's what he's good at.
Right. Well, listen, as I let you go, final thoughts on the Cobra. He will be missed, but we were blessed to. I was blessed to have covered those teams and been in that era of baseball too, because I'll never forget those teams and the characters that were on those teams. It was a great time. It really was, Phil.
It was, and I don't think there can be players just aren't wired like that we were then. And part of it is that baseball kind of legislates out really true characters anymore. You get a guy like Dave Parker, and they would beat on him in the minor leagues and tell him to, you know, tone it down a little bit. They wouldn't let Dave be Dave. And one of the beautiful things about Dave is he was not a bad guy. He pushed the envelope. There's no question about it. But he knew where to draw the line, and that's what made. I think that's what took our team to the next level, and I think that's what makes teams. Actually, I think it filters over into businesses, and it's all part of life. The guys that push the envelope a little bit are the ones that make things happen and make things change. And Dave Parker was a guy that can make things happen, no question about it.
Well, Phil Garner, I really appreciate the time taping this with me. It's great to catch up with you. You were always one of my all-time favorites, and hopefully somewhere along the line we'll see each other again one of these days. But thank you very much.
All right. Thanks so much. See you.
The one, the only, Scrap Iron, Phil Garner, one of my favorites from those Bucko teams, talking about the passing of his teammate, Dave Parker, the Cobra, passing away June 28th at the age of 74, and unfortunately, about a month before he was to be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. And it was fun talking with Garner and reminiscing about covering those teams. It was a great period in Pirate baseball. Great period, and it was so much fun going to the ballpark every day and covering those teams. Hope you folks enjoyed that. We're going to shift gears a little bit to football because the Steelers swung a big trade this past week. All-pro safety Minka Fitzpatrick sent back to the team the Steelers got him from, the Miami Dolphins, in exchange for a defensive back, a good one, Jalen Ramsey, and an all-pro tight end, Jonnu Smith. And they also exchanged some draft picks. Also making news this week for the Steelers, they signed GM Omar Khan to a 3-year contract extension. So I wanted to talk about that. Training camp is just around the corner on June 25th, and I lined my friend Jim Wexell up, and we've got some book news to tell you about some things Jim Wexell is involved in, and we will do that. We're going to take a break, and when I come back, Jim Wexell from SteelCityInsiders.com will be on board for some Steeler talk. That's up next here on the Sportsline.
Then I saw her face.
Everyone's favorite ogre is coming to Uniontown. Main Street Theater Company presents Shrek the Musical, live on stage at the State Theater. Based on the Oscar-winning film of A Little Ogre, A Wisecracking Donkey, A Feisty Princess, and other fairy tale misfits, Shrek proves that beauty is truly in the eye of the ogre. Shrek the Musical, July 11th and 12th at 7 p.m., July 13th at 2, is fun for the whole family. For tickets, call 724-439-1360 or online at statetheater.info.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
Chris Parker Jr., what's going on at Autoland Hyundai?
While other car manufacturers are raising prices, at Autoland, we're lowering prices. We are also offering above Blue Book value in all trades. All this, plus the amazing incentives and financing offers from Hyundai on top of that.
I'm listening.
How about the fuel-efficient 2025 Elantra SE with 2.99 APR for 72 months, or lease for $229 per month? Check out our great selection of all-wheel drive SUVs, ranging from the Hyundai Kona to the full-size third-row Santa Fe, both with 3.99 financing for 72 months, or choose $2,000 HMF bonus cash on the Santa Fe.
Plus Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain protection with every new Hyundai purchased, and 3-year, 36,000-mile free complimentary maintenance. Autoland Hyundai, downtown Uniontown, or visit their website at AutolandHyundai.com.
Remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
NovaCare Rehabilitation in Uniontown is accessible for all of your recovery needs. New at NovaCare is pelvic floor physical therapy, a specialized program to treat patients with pelvic floor dysfunction related to bladder, bowel, sexual function, and pregnancy postpartum. These issues can affect both women and men and include urinary frequency, urgency and incontinence, pelvic pain, constipation, IBS, menopause, painful periods, and more. Call 724-437-0556 for an appointment in Uniontown. Personalize your care with NovaCare. In 1986, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville was started with a promise to provide clients with truthful, friendly, and courteous service. It worked. With an expanded client base, the Firestone Insurance Agency's customers are now able to choose from over 20 well-known insurance companies. So whether it be auto, home, business, or life, Firestone has you covered, and the promise to provide truthful, friendly, and courteous service is still in place. As an independent insurance agency, the Firestone Insurance Agency works for you. They do the shopping for you to save you time and a bunch of needless phone calls. Because let's face it, no one loves to shop for insurance. Call the office at 724-455-3900 or visit firestoneinsurance.net. Can't make it to Normalville? Let the Firestone Insurance Agency bring service right to your kitchen table. The Firestone Insurance Agency, 724-455-3900 or firestoneinsurance.net. Doing what is right for the customer. Finding the most affordable rates while making sure there are no coverage gaps so you are fully protected from the unforeseen.
Here's a business looking for a customer.
Hi there.
Here's a customer looking for a business.
Hi.
And that's where the Better Business Bureau comes in. The BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. That's why 2023 IABBB research found 80% of people choose BBB accredited businesses over non-accredited ones with the same A+ letter rating. Live happily, better after. Always look for the sign of a better business because it's looking out for you. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi, this is Pirates broadcaster Greg Brown, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS.
And welcome back to the Sportsline on this Saturday morning. Had a great conversation with Scrap Iron Phil Garner about the passing of Dave Parker. We're going to shift gears, get into some football talk. Steelers swing a big trade. They also extend their general manager, Omar Khan, for 3 more years. And who better to talk Steelers football with than my friend Jim Wexell from SteelCityInsiders.com. And he is joining the conversation right now. Jim, happy 4th of July weekend to you. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm great, George. I'm relaxing and on a vacation trip and
well, I appreciate
enjoying some time off.
I appreciate you taking time out from your busy schedule. Before we get into some of the Steeler news, I noticed something, and I wasn't aware of this. It was online this week. It was posted actually on Craig Wolfley's old account on Twitter, which is now X. I hadn't realized that Wolf had a book that you had helped him with, which is due to come out soon.
Yeah, it's due to come out in September. Wolf wrote like 35 stories, football stories of his life and family stories. It's very, very sweet, very informative, very insightful, humorous. You know, Craig Wolfley.
Yeah.
If you heard him once, you know him.
No question. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm sure knowing Wolf, he's got some good stories in the book.
Oh, yeah.
And Wolf in his own way was a great storyteller, you know.
He was, yeah. And, what's funny is I was hired to ghostwrite for the athlete is what the publishers don't say out loud, but that's the expectation. Mm-hmm. And I had suggested Wolf, they want somebody who played for the team and then got into media, so they can span 40 years of Steelers history, something like that. And they asked me what I thought, and I said, "Oh, Craig Wolfley's perfect." I said, and plus he's a writer. He writes for my site. And so we agreed on a deal. Each of us gets half. And, Wolf started sending chapters during the season. I usually wait till after the season and then, cram it all in as my style. And Wolf got it all sent to me. And we had a conference call. The publishers wanted to know how we were doing, and we had a conference call. I told my publisher, I said, I'm stealing money here. I'm supposed to be ghostwriting. I'm just ghost reading. This athlete can write. There's no ghostwriting involved here. And Wolf said, no, stick to the deal, Wex. You get half, I get half. He liked me as an editor, just kind of a safety net for him. And so the manuscript was due March 10th, and that's the day he passed.
Wow.
So there's a spiritual aspect to this, getting it all done before he died. It's like God moves in mysterious ways, right? And it's not like Wolf was feeling sick at all. I mean, 20 days after they diagnosed cancer, he passed.
He went very quick, yeah. And it's, as I said, I still find it hard to believe because I loved them both dearly, and I was so very, very close to both of them. It's hard for me to fathom that Wolf and Tunch are both gone. It's hard for me to fathom that. It really is. It really is.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
I didn't jot it down, and I was looking for it. What's the title of the book? Do you have the title?
If These Walls Could Talk. It's a formula book. As you know, our common publisher is Triumph Publishing, and they often do books that are formula-based, and they do it in every NFL city. And Wolf had always wanted to write his memoirs, and that's why I hired him, because he had sent me a couple sample chapters to ask if this could be a book one day. And I said, yeah, let me hire you, because he could write. So I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
So he sent the chapters in, and you did this, and Triumph is the book that they're the company that did the
name of the book. You know, when they asked me, when we talked about Wolfley doing this, I said he's wanted to do these memoirs. He said, well, it has to be our style. We'll let him write what he wants, but it has to have our book title. So it's the promise of behind-the-scenes tattling, for lack of a better word.
Right. Yeah.
Those kind of insider stories. But any kind of insight, there's a cool story about Wolf being a rookie and eager to get in the lineup and run some plays against the Hall of Famers who were lined up on the other side of the ball in 1980. And he had a play coming right at Jack Ham, and he couldn't wait because he outweighed Ham by, 50, 60 pounds, and he was hungry. And what does Ham care about a play in early in training camp of 1980? And Wolfley tells, and I'm probably not getting the specifics exactly right, but it's something like he pulls maniacally seeking out Ham in the spot he's supposed to be, and then he looks up and Ham's not there, and all of a sudden, boom! Ham knocks Wolfley on his ass and stands over him smiling a little bit, goes back to the huddle, and Wolfley is just confounded. How did this happen? One, he's not supposed to be there. Two, I outweigh him by 60, 70 pounds and am much stronger and have much more desire to prove myself here than he would. So that was very telling little bit. And so while that's not, shaking the world up with inside rumor and that kind of garbage kind of writing, it's very insightful into Jack Ham's ability.
Exactly. Well, knowing Triumph as I do, because they help with the LeBeau book, they did the LeBeau book for us. There's
you wrote the LeBeau book?
There's got to be. Well, I had a lot of help.
Listeners know about this?
I had a lot of help with that.
I'm teasing.
Some guy named Richard LeBeau had a lot to do with that book. But the thing about it is they always do pre-sale, so I'm sure you can get this book with pre-sale.
Yeah, we have a pre-sale on Amazon.
On Amazon, okay, good.
If you just go type in Craig Wolfley, you'll come to the book. And purchasing by pre-sale I don't think gives the buyer any great bargain.
No,
but it helps. Yeah. It helps us because Triumph is allowed to get a better insight into how many to make, when to put it on sale, where to put it on sale, things like that.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way, and it's great that you got to collaborate with Wolf on that book. It really is. We had some news this week, lots of Steeler news. First of all, your take on the trade. Minka Fitzpatrick going back to the Dolphins, and they get Ramsey and the tight end who, from what I'm hearing from people, is going to be used as some sort of a hybrid with the Steelers. Your initial thoughts on the trade, and did they? I think they got good value. I do,
I think they got the best of the trade, but I'm just going to react to what I keep reading. I keep reading and hearing that Minka lost a step.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this spring was his best. I thought he was in line for a fantastic season. Probably will have that. He is still a grade A greyhound, a hard hitter, a safety blanket deep, still has his speed. But in spring, he was making so many plays, and I asked Juan Thornhill, the new free safety. I asked about playing with Minka, and all. He had 2 picks that day we were talking, and I said, "Does it mean anything if they're doing it in spring?" And Thornhill said, the old saying is from coaches is, if the ball's finding you in the spring, it'll find you all year. So he expected a big year out of Minka, and so did I. So you say goodbye to that. You also say goodbye to someone, in my opinion, should have been a better leader, a more vocal leader, a more stand-up guy in the locker room to the media. I know that's selfish, and it's not all that leadership entails, but in my opinion, it's a big part, and I wished he would have done more of that. It's funny, I just posted a Q&A on our site with Sebastian Castro, the undrafted but exciting new safety from Iowa, who played a really good career at Iowa. And I asked him if he's learning anything from Minka. He goes, well, Minka hasn't really talked to me yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And that's how he was. He was quiet. He was the last one in the locker room. He was the last one in the locker room because he was out doing extra work and on the practice field. So I don't want this to sound like big criticism of Minka, but I wanted more. And then in Minka's defense, I watched Cam Hayward's podcast. He was completely deflated by the trade of Minka. He understands they got some really good talent coming in return, but he was deflated. So I don't want to say Minka wasn't a leader. I just would have liked more. I would have liked more from him. He was just quiet, and he would come in late in the locker room, leave quickly before, and you would ask Minka, you got a minute? And he would say, next week I'm going to talk. So, I mean, that's become, the PR staff is allowing this to go on where the superstar gets 1 day a week to talk in front of a mob. And so you get ridiculous questions and just gossip and questions about Twitter instead of one-on-one conversations that usually lead to better insight and information.
Yeah.
Okay. So that.
The other thing.
Now let me talk about the other side.
Well, one thing I had to add in about Minka, there was some interesting stuff that came out after the trade, and some of your brethren that cover the Steelers were indicating that Minka may have been part of some of the communication problems that we heard about in the back end of the defense and some things like that. Can you shed any light on that?
No, I can't. All I can say is that he didn't want to talk about it. The day that Deshaun Elliott blew up and was blaming miscommunication, Minka was already in his car on his way home.
Okay.
And that disturbed me a little bit. This guy got to stand up a little bit and talk. He left it to Deshaun Elliott. And Cam Hayward, of course, is always standing up. So that bothered me a little bit. Was it his fault? I don't know. He's highly intelligent. I kind of doubt it, but he is quiet. I think the bigger fault was in coaching, and they replaced the the secondary coach with the team's former safety coach. And a source with the team told me you didn't see those communication issues when Gerald Alexander was the safety coach a couple years ago before he got hired by the Raiders to be the DB's coach. So he was an assistant, Gerald Alexander, and now he's been rehired, and it's a big priority is communicating and answering back to the communication. So everybody was going to do that. I don't want to blame Minka, but man, he was the hub of it all. And the hub of it all should stand up and explain a little bit to the public.
Okay.
So that kind of irritated me a little bit, but I don't want to say it was Minka's fault.
Okay. Now, the other part of the deal you were going to get to. Yeah.
Yeah, the other side. Jalen Ramsey, there's an interview of Jalen Ramsey talking about his admiration for Charles Woodson. the cornerback who ended his career with the Packers, obviously beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl, who was a outside nickel safety, moving all around, and they're the same size. Woodson is listed at 2 pounds more than Jalen Ramsey, so the same height, pretty much the same weight, and Jalen Ramsey is an avid admirer of Charles Woodson. So that's what I'm expecting. Not to totally replace Minka at free safety. I think that's going to go to Juan Thornhill. But Jalen's going to get a taste of all that, move around like they wanted Pat Pete to do. Pat was just a little too thin, I think, to play safety. So it'll be interesting to see Jalen Ramsey attempt this. And, of course, a great coverage corner, still playing at a high level. If you look at the Pro Football Focus calculations, Ramsey was the 16th best corner. Minka was the 44th best safety. And now, Pro Football Focus isn't, the end-all. But they got an eye on every play. And Ramsey is still playing at a high level, very strong against the run, so this should help him when he does play safety. They've needed a third corner. This gives them that third corner, and hopefully it's nickel. And you see you've got Slay and Porter still outside. Right. And Ramsey, they'll do a lot more man. They'll blitz a lot more, thankfully, finally getting back to blitzing more, and like that guy LeBeau used to do. And Ramsey is just an elite cover corner, a couple years older than Minka, but Steelers are Miami's paying $7 million of the $26 million he's owed, and Steelers will get him for $19 million, a tad lower than T.J. Watt. Wow. So he fits into the pay structure. Jonnu Smith.
I was going to ask about him. I hear they are talking about him as some sort of a hybrid. Is that right?
Who?
Smith. They're going to use him as a hybrid type of player. Yeah.
Well, I keep reading the criticism that he can't block. Okay, he's not Darnell Washington, but when he's in the game, you're not going to put a cornerback in there still just because you don't think he's as good a blocker as Darnell Washington or these big tight ends. Mm-hmm. But he's going to be able to block a corner, so you're not going to be able to put a corner on him. Therefore, he'll get open. So one way or the other, he's an advantage that you have to answer for on defense. And when they use 2 and 3 tight ends, you're going to see a bigger defense out there, fewer corners, and Jonnu can run by linebackers. So can Freiermuth. So their lack of blocking is still not going to be met by skinny little corners covering them on the other side. It's still going to be linebackers and safeties having to cover them. So for this hybrid stuff, I guess he's a tight end who can flex out and be a threat.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And hey, my take on this is that Mike Tomlin's in love with Jalen Ramsey, and Arthur Smith's in love with Jonnu Smith. He used to have him at Tennessee. Okay. Did he have him at Atlanta too? But anyway, each coordinator got what he wanted. So there are 2 weapons, and safeties are just easier to find. You hate to lose Minka. I don't want to talk bad on Minka. Just question his not his leadership, but his ability to stand up and talk to the public and answer questions. And whether or not he talked to the teammates is something I don't know about. But these other 2 guys are fantastic players, wanted by the coaching staff. And Omar Khan put the deal together, and perfect teamwork. What does offense want? What does defense want? Omar, go make this happen.
And of course, Omar just rewarded with a 3-year extension, right?
He's been doing a great job facilitating what the coach wants. The coach runs the team. That's Steeler history. And but this GM knows how to pull off a deal. He knows how to negotiate, and he can see the salary cap taking shape while he's talking trade of talent. He can envision that better than most. I mean, he's a business guy first. He's a bean counter first, talent evaluator second. So with the Steelers, the coach having a strong voice in the talent that is brought in, he's got a guy that can envision the costs and what is required in a trade, how to make the trade happen. And he's doing a great job of that, and he deserves that 3-year extension, no matter how many years in a row. It's only been 8 years in a row without a playoff berth. I know everybody's seriously upset about that. I guess it's not many have read about the first 40 years without a playoff win. So, it doesn't always happen easily when your franchise quarterback ages. But now they have cap money. They haven't had to deal.
Well,
with
I was going to ask. They're in good shape cap wise, from what I understand, and they still kept most of their draft capital looking ahead to next year's draft.
Most of it. Yeah. They keep adding to it.
Yeah.
They have 3 third-round picks next year with the potential for 2 more, 4th and a 5th comp pick, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, turning into third-round picks if they meet incentives. And they have to play very well, and their teams have to do very well. And it's a long shot. But they've got 3 third-round picks locked up, plus all their other stuff, plus 3 more comp picks. So you could say they're all in and that they're the over-the-hill gang. They're the over-the-hill gang, George Allen's over-the-hill gang, without trading draft picks like crazy. They didn't trade any. They just keep getting more. And they're coming off 3 very good drafts, in my opinion. So the bulk of this team is young. They've added older veterans that will not only help on the field, but mentally and emotionally in the locker room and teaching. That's a good situation. I just don't understand all the negativity surrounding this team. People just don't like Mike Tomlin, but I really like what's happening with this team. They're rebuilding on the fly without a losing season. Half of me wants to see a new coach come in and go 4-12 for 4 consecutive years to remind people what the dregs of the NFL are like and what it takes to rebuild.
Well, they're doing something that is not easy to do, Jim, and that is they are rebuilding to some extent, but they're also keeping an eye on the future. It's difficult to put both feet in different areas like that and get it done. That's not the easiest thing to do.
Well, look what they've done.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, the cap space. TJ knows how much. Your buddy TJ knows how much money they have extra. It's not going to help the Steelers in negotiations coming up.
Yeah.
They're low.
Well, I was going to ask about that. I've had so many people, and I hear, and I don't know why I listen to some of this stuff. Sometimes I listen to the talking heads in Pittsburgh, and they're advocating trading him here or trading him there or doing something like that. So in my heart of hearts, I believe the Steelers are going to try and keep him if they can. TJ.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, there's not going to be a trade. There's not going to be a trade. Take that to the bank.
Right.
If he doesn't sign, then he holds out, his contract tolls, and they try again next year. He's not going to do that.
Right. So, in any case, I appreciate the time. Enjoy your vacation, and you and I will get together. I got your message the other day about wanting to talk to me about a couple things with what we did with our book, and I'd be glad to talk to you about that. And as always, I appreciate the time you give me, and I look forward to seeing you up at training camp.
Okay, buddy. Good talking to you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Jim Wexell, SteelCityInsiders.com, talking some Steeler football with us. We're going to get a break in, and let's try and finish with a flourish. We may have time for a couple of calls here at the end of the show. 724-438-4593 is the number to call.
Bogey's Restaurant at Duck Hollow Golf Club is open for the season. Check out Bogey's refreshed 2025 menu. Bogey's is now open 7 days a week. Monday and Tuesday 4 to 9 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday from 2 to 9 p.m., and on Sundays 1 to 5. The golf season is also here with the Pro Shop open daily from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Golf 18 with a cart Monday through Friday for $39. The rate for 18 in a cart on Saturdays and Sundays is $49. Seniors 55 and over can play 18 with a cart door during the week for just $30. You can purchase a special card that includes 20 18-hole rounds of golf with a cart for $660. That breaks down to just $33 a round, a savings of $16 off weekend fees. Looking at starting a golf league? Duck Hollow has league openings on Mondays and Fridays. Stop by the Pro Shop for more details. Bogey's Restaurant and Duck Hollow Golf Course. Call 724-880-9082 for golf tee times or for restaurant information today, or check out Duck Hollow on Facebook for weekly specials.
Yeah, they're the people I trust. It's the place I go. Home, warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
This is home improvement season. Home Warehouse in Uniontown is your one-stop shop for all your exterior building needs. It's the place that makes a house a happy home. Looking to add a deck? Home Warehouse carries composite decking materials and maintenance-free railing in a variety of styles. Plus, roofing shingles, metal and commercial rubber roofing, windows and doors, shutters, siding, soffit and fascia, railing, columns, 5 and 6-inch seamless gutters, plus flooring and more. Whatever building products you need, you'll be pleased with the selection and hometown service. So stop in and see Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse, Connellsville Street in Uniontown. Shop Monday through Friday 8 to 4:30, Saturday 8 to noon, closed Sunday and holidays.
Home, warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Saving money when you buy a new home isn't a fantasy. It's reality at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. With up to $5,000 in instant savings during the Sign and Save sales event, it's the perfect place to find the home you've always wanted. So don't let your dream home stay a fantasy. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon today at 4500 PA 51. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through August 31st. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Your health is more than just how you feel today. It's about staying well for the years ahead. At WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Primary Care, we're here to help you manage your health with regular checkups, screenings, and care that's tailored to you. With locations in Uniontown, Carmichaels, Connellsville, and Scottdale, it's easy to find care close to home. Visit wvumedicine.org/Uniontown today to find the primary care provider who is right for you.
For professional cleaning services, Clean and Shine in New Stanton is the place for you. They provide commercial and residential cleaning, porter services, carpet cleaning, stripping and waxing, construction cleanups, and car cleaning. For free estimates, call 724-691-0413, email info@cleanandshine14.org, or visit their website, cleanandshine14.org. We clean so you can shine.
Casey's Sports Cafe, located at 243 South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown and owned by the Vernon family, wants you to know they have new hours. Monday and Friday from 7 to 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 7 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday 7 to 2. Come on into Casey's and check out their new menu ideas and entrees. They can also cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126. Casey's, the best in Fayette County.
Hi, this is Penguins broadcaster Phil Bork, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS.
And welcome back to the Sportsline. Hope you enjoyed the Steeler Talk with Jim Wexell from SteelCityInsiders.com. Always great information. We've got about 3 minutes left in the show. If you want to try and stick in a call here at the end, do come ahead with your questions and comments. The telephone number, 724-438-4593. 724-438-4593. Your ticket to conversation. A lot of conversation about the Steelers with Jim Wexell and some of the things that they're going. I agree with him. I do like, I think Benko was still a legitimate player, but I do like the return the Steelers got in the trade with Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. And they've got money to spend under the cap. They've got draft capital for next year. They're in good shape right now in a lot of areas. Now, we still have question marks. What's Aaron Rodgers going to be like? Can he avoid injury? It's going to be interesting. Let's stick in a call real quick. I got about a minute. Go ahead.
Hey, George, how you doing? Hey, I want to commend Chuck on Jason Mackey's newspaper article.
Yeah, it was really, really tremendous and good to see.
He's a rock star now, George.
I know. I asked him for his autograph. He wanted to charge me money.
Wait till he starts putting baseball cards out like Deuce Scherzinski.
Oh my God, that could happen. That might be the next thing's coming. Listen, I got to go because I'm up against the news. Thanks for checking in. Have a great 4th of July weekend.
Talk to you next week. Same to you.
Take care. Bye. And that puts a capper on this edition of the Sportsline. George Von Benko saying so long. Sportsline brought to you by Tom Vernon and Casey Sports Cafe, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management. The news is coming your way next. And then Oldies Unlimited with Arnie Amber right here on your local station, 590 AM, 101.1 FM, WMBS, Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Christopher Cruz. The death toll from yesterday's flash